or these accomplishments may leave some scars. So do them at your own risk, but it's definitely a way to maximize your time at school. This is how I had approached school, and not all of them will be realistically possible, but they all will help if you're willing to put in the time and the effort to try and do these kinds of things. It worked for me. Hopefully it can help you out. So I'm going to try and break this down in different magnitudes of intensity. Some of the easier, more low-hanging fruit include things like reading ahead of your coursework and just get familiar. You don't have to get too in depth of it, but just skim over it. Helping classmates out if you happen to know an answer to a problem and someone is stuck on something. To attend extracurricular activities around the school. It doesn't have to be specifically in your field. It can be other things like giving speeches. Go to conventions and conferences. I think everyone finds these really fun anyways, so it's pretty common that people would do these. But if you haven't considered it, maybe try and go to one and strive for a 90% or higher attendance rate. Now this goes more into the medium difficulty strategies. After doing a lesson, do it twice. Try and see what you learned and see if you can do it faster the second time around. Aim for perfect attendance the best you can and don't settle for less. In addition to your schoolwork, maybe take an online class on the side as well. And then if the opportunity arises, maybe try and volunteer for a lab instructor. That way you're around the school, you can work on your own stuff, and when people inevitably have issues, you can learn how to troubleshoot better. Okay, so now we're going into the hard mode. I said to do things twice before, do it thrice now. The second time is definitely a way to see if you recollected what you had done, but the third time is really a good opportunity to either experiment with optimizing the method or to find an alternative method. You probably want to do this anyways, but aim for all A's. And I put this in the hard mode because realistically it's hard to balance all of life, right? And don't feel like you have to get all A's in order to succeed. I would say you're probably fine aiming for C's, but if you want to really challenge yourself, this video is all about maximizing your time at school. So you definitely want to be striving for A's, right? Sign up for freelance on the side. You know, you don't have to spend all your time doing it, and maybe don't go after large projects. But if you happen to see a small little thing on Fiverr or wherever, and you just want to get the opportunity to do a freelance gig, like a real world kind of experience thing where money's on the table, then yeah, do it. If you have a school that also has an art test in order to get to the finals department like Full Sail did, then maybe try and consider doing more than just one. For us, you chose one art test for a very specific department, modeling, lighting, compositing, etc. And if you passed it, then you get to go into the finals department as a modeler, as a lighter, etc. Strive to maybe do more than just one of those. That way you are checking your aptitude for different departments in the field. This one's definitely optional, but aim for that valedictorian. It doesn't really do too much for you in the industry at all. It's really just kind of a fun thing to aim for. And then last we have the insanity level, and I'm just going to say maybe don't do these. These ones I definitely did, it's just that it led to some major burnout. So, you know, do it at your own risk. Things like picking up extra assignments from other classes you're not even attending. For example, our coursework split from computer animation to game design. And while doing the computer animation route, which is the route I chose, I ended up going to some of the classes for the game design and asked for what their homework was, and I did that a little bit on the side too. That way I could pick up Unreal Engine. This one's a temporary one, so don't make this a long time habit, but reduce your socialization outside of the labs and outside of the classwork. This is usually not something you would hear someone recommend, but the way I kind of feel is that while you're in school, try and optimize as much effort towards work as possible. And then the moment you graduate, start socializing and start getting those sleep habits, because you don't want to wind up having a really bad sleep pattern. You need to recover. That way you have better longevity. So in school, go ahead and be a hermit. Out of school, time to socialize. Apply for work while you're actually in the finals department. By the time I had graduated, I actually had gotten a gig for a commercial bumper for the X Games, as well as a film project doing some of the compositing for it. But as I mentioned before, these accomplishments may leave some scars. So do them at your own risk, but it's definitely a way to maximize your time at school. I like to think that I'm always a student and always learning in this space. It doesn't matter if I'm working as a professional or not. There's always something new to pick up. And a lot of these habits I had back in school, I can definitely apply in the work environment. That way it's not too much of a strain to pick up new concepts. Plus, this approach has definitely helped me be able to add things to my resume without feeling like I have to actually embellish it. Do you want to learn how to do that?